Good evening, Mr. Mike.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I am doing splendid. I am doing just fine. For this particular video, this is something I was thinking about doing for a long time. Um, you know, Having more of more videos, more content that's related to music. As you know, I'm not just avid when it comes to video games and movies and all that, but I'm also a musician. I've written two records. Both of them are up on my channel. Um, and Yeah, I'm big into like guitar playing. I have three guitars and all that. Um, Metal music is my favorite genre. Um, I have like over 100 bands on one of my hard drives. So I listen to a lot of music, a lot of heavy hardcore stuff, and you already knew all of that. Um,
Oh,
so I did want to do a video about Guitar Pro, just the basics of how the program works. Um, I'm not going to go into anything too in depth with this, but yeah, this is definitely something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I figured it would be better that because I wanted to show you this anyway at some point. I thought it would be better that we look over it together. So this is the program. This is what it looks like. I started using Guitar Pro with Guitar Pro 6. This is Guitar Pro 7. Um, and this is the up to date, the version that I have right now. So
uh,
I'm just going to go over the basics, and then I'm going to play you a sample.
okay.
And so Immediately you have your notes over here. You have your main screen right here, which shows you the tab that you're working on, or the tab that you're paying, that you're looking at. And then you have your song information over here, which you can put in the album name if you have an album name or whatever, the words and music by whoever, copyright, instructions. You can master different tracks for analog, studio, and there's other settings. You can put your song title right here, your artist right here, um, and then the important thing is your track information, and you can turn off these. All of this. So if you just want to have just the tabs by itself, you can. Although
Hmm.
there's no reason to do that, and it doesn't make any sense to do that. Um, Down here, you have your tracks, which are the different instruments. So you have guitar 1 right here, guitar 2, your bass, and your drums. You can add as many tracks as you want, and then you can label them. Um, Now, this is the tab that we're looking at is for the song Through Struggle, which is an old song, I think a 2006 song by the metalcore band As I Lay Dying. So I downloaded this tab from ultimateguitar.com. Someone tapped this out and created the tab, and I just downloaded it because I wanted to learn how to play the song. There's other things that you can do. You can change the zoom, like if you want to zoom in or you want to zoom out. You can do that. I always keep it at 100%. If you want to change like this is a grid style. If you want to make it horizontal, you can do that. Vertical. Um, which allows you to see more of the screen. So if you wanna do it that way, you can. You have a parchment style, just a typical grid style, like page by page horizontal and page by page vertical. We're just going to stick with the grid for now. Then you have all your important information over here. What kind of notes that you're dealing with. You have your whole note, your half note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, 32nd note, and 64th note. I'm not sure if you know anything about music theory or not.
Did back in the day, but now I've forgot it all.
Okay, well, just some basics. It's like simple math. So it takes, basically it takes, I think 4/16 notes. Actually, we can test this on a new template. So I'll just pull up a new template. Like if you want to make a new tab or whatever, you just go to, like for me, metal band or whatever. So just to refresh your memory on a few different things, we'll start with, because you never really need to use a 32nd or a 64th note.
Yeah, I've never even heard of those ones before.
Yeah, they're not common. So we're gonna start with 4/16 notes. That's what these are. And you know they're 16th notes because they're doubled at the top.
Yeah.
The bars that go across. It takes 4/16 notes to make an eighth note. And so the important thing that you're looking for is here. This shows your time signature. Your time signature is over here. It says 4/4 time. So basically once this number in front of the ratio reaches 4, then you can't add any more notes to this measure. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. You can have as many measures as you want. And I'm gonna change this. Yeah, you hear.
Okay.
Yeah, you hear the notes when I'm playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have your quarter note. So that's one measure right there, and it'll have a green check mark saying you're good. You can't add any more notes. If you want to change the time signature, you go here, and then you can change it to fit more notes, basically. Like if you want to add more notes to a measure, you change the time signature so you fit more notes in a given measure. A lot of metal bands do that. They'll change the time signature. Most notably, August Burns Red. That band does that a lot. So I can add 2 more quarter notes, or the make the measure complete, or I can change that to an eighth note, and that'll complete the measure, or I can have 8/16 notes, which is the same as 4/8 notes.
Okay.
So I hope I'm not confusing you.
It can be a little confusing. Just starting back up again.
Right.
I was like that when I was in the classes too.
Right. Yeah, just for you, it'll just take some some memorization. Um, and then you have your half notes, and two of these make a whole note. A whole note covers it covers a full 4/4 time measure. But since I changed the time signature, I can have a whole note in here and then still add other notes because I changed the time signature. But if I change it back to 4, like if I change measure, like say measure 1 stays at 6/4 time, but I'm on measure 2, I can change it back to 4/4 time, as you can see here. And now, because this is a whole note, that's the only thing I can add in that measure. And then it moves on to the next one. There's other things I can do too, because this is metal, or if we're talking about hard rock, I can palm mute these, and palm muting is a guitar technique, which I'm not going to go into, but you hear how it's kind of like it's not muted. Well, it is muted, but you can still hear it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I get what you mean.
Another thing I can do, I can copy this,
Huh?
and then I can paste it in a new measure. But see, this is 4/4 time. And when I change that time signature, everything else follows after that. And so, because this is, in order to make this correct in the program, because it's not correct, and that's why these lines are red when I exit the cursor from the measure. That's the program telling me this is incorrect. You need to go back and fix this. All I do is I go back, I reselect 6/4 time, which is my custom time signature, and I add it, and now it's good again. There's just certain things like that. To get a little bit more technical, I'm going to do some light palm muting. This is called a spider chord. It's basic chords for like rock and metal.
I've heard of them before.
Yeah, that's a power chord. This is that's an octave. Very important, like if you want to play like melodic like type of metal or whatever, or just melodic hard rock, is very easy to do on the guitar. And you're basically strumming up and down when you see things like this. And so, like, basically an octave is you have a number, a note at the bottom, and then two strings above that you have two strings, two notes higher, and that's what gives you that sound. So when I play it, and then if I want, I can speed up the tempo. The tempo is how fast a particular song is being played. That's in all music. So I'm at 120 beats per minute. Metal music usually is played at if you're using like lower size notes, like eighth notes and quarter notes or whatever. Usually that's played at like around 170 beats per minute or higher. And so I would just apply that. This is at measure 4, and then you have measure 3, measure 2, measure 1. And so it'll mark it, and then like from 170 with the with the tempo starting from measure 4 on up. You know, the program has marked it, so now when I play it, that's faster. And then I can palm mute these two.
Starting to sound real good too.
Yeah, and then I can also copy these. Now I'm close to my limit right here. And then if I want, I can do a full power chord, which is, you know, what this is. So you have your spider chord, octave notes, and then you have your power chord. And then I can link the power chord into the next measure, and then just let it ring out by changing the length of the note or whatever for the next measure, so it rings out. And then I can change this measure to back the 4/4 time, so it lasts for that entire measure. So and so that's just something basic. Now, one thing I don't like is the type of sound. This is a preset sound. I can add I can change. These are your presets right here. I can change any of this to really anything I want. And because this is Guitar Pro 7, I'm going to change this to something I actually want. Yeah, let's try that. And then I'm going to change the tuning. So metal music is usually played, not always, but it's usually played in drop C, drop B, or drop A. You know, one of those three. I use a custom tuning on mine, which is for the same tuning that the band Molotov Solution uses. But for this demonstration, we'll do drop C. A lot of metal bands such as August Burns Red, As I Lay Dying, Heaven Shall Burn, those bands, they use drop C. Other bands like Parkway Drive, Job for a Cowboy, and a few others use drop B. It just depends on the specific genre and the sound that you're going for. And so now that I've changed the Soundbank just for guitar 1. This is guitar 1. If I go to guitar 2, I can change it to match guitar 1. But we're just focusing on guitar 1. So if I play it now, it sounds completely different. So that has more of a crunch to it. Yeah, it sounds heavier. I'm going to drop the palm muting so it's not as overwhelming. Drop the accentuation. So that almost sounds like a live guitar, right?
Yeah. Really does.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this same passage, and then I'm going to paste it to guitar 2, and then it copied. It didn't just carry over the notes, as you can see. It also carried over the time signature and the tempo. And so I'm going to change the tuning. This time we're going to go to drop B. Now I can keep the fingering, which means these notes would stay the same, but it would sound different because the notes are in a different placement, because the notes would change because I dropped the tuning. Or I can adjust the fingering to where it sounds exactly the same, but then the notes would change because those sounds will be located on different areas of the guitar because I dropped the tuning. So I'm going to adjust the fingering. Now, it sounds exactly the same, but I'm going to undo that, and then I'm going to change the tuning again to drop B, and then I'm going to keep the fingering that I have. So now it sounds different. Or does it? Does that sound the same to you?
Yeah, one more time for me. Definitely doesn't sound the same. Of course, the note playing sound the same, but it does sound different.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain sounds, certain notes or whatever that are located twice on the guitar neck and in different spots, and so certain notes match up with each other. So for example, I think it's 7 and, well, I'll make this half and half. Oops. I'll make this half and half. So 7 and 2. I think it's a volume issue. So in order to fix this or correct it, I'm going to pull up another instrument. This is a new track. So this is tuned at drop B. I'm going to mute this track, and well, I muted both of those tracks. I'm going to copy this, paste it here, change the signature or Soundbank. I don't know why this is still in standard. It should not be in standard. And adjust the fingering. So yeah, I don't know why I did that. Delete that. Now you notice how the palm muting sounds different? Yeah, it shouldn't sound like that. It sounds like shit. So I'm just going to take this down.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, I'm going to take that down, and now when I do it, see, now these two notes sound clear.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, so it's a simple volume issue. So certain notes pair up with each other pretty well. 7 and 3 also pair up with each other pretty well. 5 and 3. And then you have 4 and 2. And 1 and 4. And then if I want to create like a little riff or whatever, I'll change these to 8th notes. And then palm mute the notes that are on the bottom. and then I can continue that to the next measure. It's the same pattern, the same fingering pattern, but then I'll move it up 2 notes. So instead of this being a 1, I'll make that a 3. I'll make this a 6, 3. I'll make this like a 7, and then I'll make this a 6. So that sounds like a live instrument, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, you get like how I'm, you know, how I'm working the program to do what I want it to do.
Yeah, I see how you don't want to.
Yeah. So, and this is just the guitar. Then you have the drums, which I can also get into. And then there are certain things I can do, like if I want to, let's say I want a note to be like an 8th note, but I want it to extend to connect to a different note, to another note. I would go here and I would dot it, which would extend it slightly past its original value. So it's still an 8th note, but it just plays out a little bit longer, slightly. But if I take that off, what's the shortcut for this? Oh yeah. So if I take that off, it's just immediate. And then I can also I can do what's called a slide. Sliding is another guitar technique. Well, actually, I think it's. You're supposed to be able to like hear it. Yeah, it's not working.
It's like just come with the program.
Yeah, it could be the program. But yeah, you're supposed to be able to like hear it to slide through all the different notes all the way up to fret 10 and then slide it back down to the fret 5. But that's like just a basic concept. Sliding is a more complicated technique, guitar technique. You have bending. So basically, you can bend a string to a different note. You hear that?
Yeah.
Now I can. Yeah, I can also bend it back down. So that's like a bend release, and then I can control it where I bend it, and it's showing me like it'll say what the note is it C, B, C sharp, D. But we'll do like a full bend and then back down. So I bend up and then bend it down. And then I can bend it down to a different note. I'll bend it down to yeah, there's a bunch of different things that you can do.
Okay.
one of the more important techniques if you want to play like uh, some hard rock, but this is a technique mainly used in metal. Is it's called tremolo picking, and basically what tremolo picking is, it's you're playing the same note on the same string as fast as possible. So I take like this is the D string right here. So you know, E, A, D, G, B, E. That's standard tuning for a guitar. So we're on the D string. I'm gonna make this in. I'm gonna make this a 16th note, and then I'm just going to play that the entire measure, and that sounds like this. And what the player is doing is they're playing the same note up and down as fast as possible. They're just going up and down. It's actually very difficult to do on guitar. It takes a lot of practice to do that. And then I can change it. And then I can change it more. So now it sounds like this. Or instead of doing twos on that bottom A string, I'll go back to the D string. Oops. And I'll do 6. And then I can take this, paste it here, and then I can slightly change the pattern. So you see how much more melody comes out of it when you do it like that.
Yeah.
And so you know, professional guitarists, this is the type of shit that they do. You know, this is the way they play. And then if I want to just play this measure, these 4 measures, again, I'll put what's known as a repeat open right here, and then a repeat close. And then I can choose how many times it plays. So if I want it to play it 4 times, 4 times, because 4/4 time is standard time for you know, rock and metal music. So it'll play these 4 measures 4 times. And then I'll move on to the next measure.
Okay.
Now my tempo is still at 120, but because I have this at 16th note, it sounds like it's being played faster. But if I were to raise the time signature, or not the time signature, but the tempo, if I raise the tempo on the 8th measure to 170, okay, yeah, it's not going through. Wait, hold up. Or maybe it did go through. Okay, yeah, it did. Yeah, this is 170. I don't know why that's saying 120. Yeah, all this is 170 beats per minute.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know why that's saying that, but a metronome. There's a digital metronome inside the program. So like when you're practicing, the program will count, you know, the beats and based on the time signature. So you hear the metronome.
Really hard to hear.
It's there. I can hear it. I'll just play this.
Now.
Yeah. So it's counting the time signature, the beats, the important beats in the measure, and then I can do a count in, which is like a countdown. One, two, three, four, because of the time signature right here. So you get like how it's all working, and then I can also raise the volume of the metronome.
Okay.
So
yeah, I need a lot more.
Now it's easier to pick up. And then I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, there's a lot more I could show you. I'm just showing you basically the basics of what I use. Then you have your rest, right? So
yeah,
that's a 16th rest, which you can see by the two dots. Oops, I went backwards. An 8th rest, half rest, or no, quarter rest, excuse me, half rest, and a whole rest. And the same logic applies, for the rest. It applies to the actual notes themselves. So I could apply rest in this measure right here. So I'll just change that to a rest. So every second and every fourth. So now it sounds like this.
yeah, it definitely gives a difference.
Yeah. Or if I do undo, every first and third. So now it would sound like this. You see there's a delay because this note isn't being played because I turned it into a rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just there's a lot of crazy shit that you can do with this program. But going back to this, like I said, someone tapped this out. This is being played in drop C. I'm just going to play like the first few seconds of it. Turn off the metronome, turn off the countdown. Now, the first thing, the main thing with this is that because of you can't tell because you don't have a guitar in your hand to actually see, but the way the notes are set up right here, you have to play with all 4 of your fingers. So that it's an intermediate to an advanced level song. And then you also have to take into account for how fast it's actually being played. It's at 160 beats per minute. Yeah, you have to use all 4 of your fingers in order to play this successfully. It's something that's very easy to mess up, and it's not a song a beginner can play. So now now that you've heard like what the song sounds like, I want to show you the music video of the actual band. Same song, and you tell me if it sounds accurate, if the tap sounds accurate to the real thing.
Yeah.
What you're hearing is the exact same thing I played in the tap.
Okay. Oh damn. That's exactly.
Yeah. I played about a minute of it.
Guitar for the program sounds just as good too.
Yeah, that's the whole point. But if you look at the fingering of the guitar, they're using all 4 of their fingers.